Hi there, Dan from onlinebasscourses.com. Hope you're doing well today. I'm going to show you a few techniques that you can learn today to sound a bit like Bobby Vega. Now, I think the point is that if you listen to a player like him, it's just sometimes jaw-dropping what he's doing, and it's just unbelievable. So don't try and copy him, and that's sort of my way of saying that I can't play like him, but that's fine. I'll just show you a few things we might get somewhere close. So first things first, I'm using the pick that he uses, which is a Dunlop 0.73, the yellow one. And that's what he's doing most of the time, is playing with a pick. Now, he can do anything. He plays with his fingers, he slaps, he does everything. But in this lesson, I'm going to mainly concentrate on pick kind of stuff. So, first of all, you'll hear him improvise a lot. I don't know if you've seen a lot of those YouTube videos of him playing. He played with Sly and the Family Stone when he was 16, and he subbed for Rocco when he was ill years ago with Tower of Power. So, he's done loads of band things, but I think he's quite famous now for just playing amazingly on YouTube. So one thing I've noticed he does a lot of, which guitarists do, is just keeping this constant motion thing going. So he's very often improvising in these scenarios. So here I'll show you a few of the things as we go along, but I'm just hammering on between the 3rd fret and 5th fret of the A string. So I'm going to play stuff around the key of D sort of Mixolydian, Dorian kind of thing. So in terms of pick playing, hold it between your thumb and your first finger like this, not too much of the pick showing, pointy bit inwards. Now, he's doing this constant motion thing, so this is about the speed, somewhere around there, and tick, 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 a 1E and a 2E, and you can count 16th notes like that if you like. I just know that every single beat contains 4 of them, down, up with the pick. So just mute for now. So just try this. I'm doing a hammer-on from 3rd fret to 5th fret. That's the C to the D. And then a load of ghost notes. That's 4, so that's the first beat. 4 ghost notes. And just cycle that around. Then add some more notes in. Now the point being, just watch very closely. I'll exaggerate it a bit. My right hand, my picking hand. It's just going down, up the whole time. And wherever you want the note to lie, you've got to hit it either on the down and the up. See, all those were upstrokes. That's a downstroke. That's an upstroke. Which brings me on to another thing he does a lot, which is accenting beats 2 and 4, almost like a drummer would, and that's called the backbeat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make a big deal of this. So he sounds a lot like a drummer, and with that constant motion thing, the use of ghost notes, you're getting a very, very rhythmic kind of thing going on here. I think that's why he's so amazing to listen to when he's just playing on his own, because you're hearing a lot of melody, which I'll come on to a bit later, but you're hearing grooves. So keep that constant motion thing going, and this comes through, if you're playing a rock line. If you're playing rock, you might want to concentrate on downstroke. Because that down just gives you that insistent thing. But to get fast, you do down, up. That's alternate picking, okay? So you'll hear a lot of funk guitarists, especially, just if you watch them, watch Rob Harris from Jamiroquai, amazing example of this, where just this constant motion of the strumming hand just keeps you locked into the groove, and that's what Bobby does. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. And then a lot of the time he uses soul. I mean, he was a soul player back in the day, back in the 60s. He was playing a lot of that kind of music. And that kind of vocab is really, really important to know if you want to play a bit like him. So I can't really explain that in 60 seconds, but I'll give it a little bit of a go. That's a Mixolydian mode or scale. So in this key, I'm going fret 5-7 on the A string, and then 4-5-7, 4-5-7 on the D and the G. You just play around with that. Sounds very soul. Done a couple of videos based on these patterns, so I will link to those. That's a really important sound in soul, is I'm going from the minor third to the major third. So that's fret 3 to 4 on the D string in this case. Major pentatonic, so frets 5, 7, 9 off the A string, 7, 9 on the D string. That's a D major pentatonic. One fret higher than that is that dominant 7th. Chromatic notes really cool in this. So from there, I'm just going, let's say, that's an arpeggio. So root, 3rd, 5th, minor 7th octave. Now if I go from the 3rd up chromatically to the 5th, that happens a lot. And also the 7th, the octave. So use of chromatics. Now from there I'm going 5th fret up the octave to the 12th fret of the D string. That was that same minor 3rd to major 3rd thing, but instead of 3rd to 4th fret the D string, 10th to 11th the G string. So another thing you'll notice him playing all over the fretboard. You need to know everything in your fretboard. So to unlock it, don't always go in one direction. So one thing you can do is start on the 5th fret of the A string, because we're in D in this example. Then you've got the 12th fret of the D string. And know how to play a scale across 2 strings, you know, that gets you very quickly from there to there. So I was going fret 5, 7, 9 on the A, and then 5, 7, 9 on the D, and then 10, 12 on the D. There are many, many ways of playing the same thing on the bass, and you should explore that. Brings me on to the next point, really, which is another thing he uses a lot of, is articulation. So hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, slides, that kind of playing, it adds a real flair to playing. So that kind of thing. So what did I do there? Just starting on the 5th fret of the A string, a little slide from the, what's that, the 7th to the 9th, still on the A string. With the hammer-ons and vibrato. Right there you can bend a half step up to get to that dominant 7th. And using articulations in your playing makes your phrases sound quite vocal-like in quality, and it makes it sound really, really great if you do that. And another thing he does is he uses a legato, and you can tell he's quite influenced by guitar players. I bet he's an amazing guitarist himself. So legato, meaning hammer-ons and pull-offs. So instead of picking everything, he might do something like that. So hang on, where's a good place? Kind of Jimi Hendrix style thing. So just there, I'm going hammer on followed immediately by a pull off. This is on the 10th to 12th fret of the D string. So hammer on, immediate pull off. Instead of going picking everything, and then after that I'm picking the 12th fret of the A string. Move that pattern up, so you've got that going from the G string to the D string. Same frets. So all I'm doing there, and I see him do this a fair bit, is to play 3 notes on one string. 3 notes on one string lends itself really well to legato and fast, you know, even if you're plucking or you're picking. And you've got this little extended fingering motion going on here, so you've got to be a bit careful with this and don't overdo this, don't overstretch this. So I'm going frets 5. This is just an example. I mean, you can do this in any key, but just for now, just to stick to this, I'm going frets 5, 7, 9 on the A string, and then same on the D string. Let's stick there for now. So I'm going hammer on from the 5 to the 7th fret, and then 7th to 9th, and then moving up to the D string, doing exactly the same thing. Now go in reverse pull-offs. And what you want to do is you want to make your hammer on, your pull off exactly the same or roughly the same volume as your pick. And you can speed things up. So yeah, he does quite a lot of things that a shredder guitarist might do, you know, a rock guitarist might do. And one other thing he does a lot, sweep picking. So that's just dragging the plectrum down in one direction and timing it so your fingers pluck and then come off so you get a chord. That's another thing he does, which is double stops. Now, a double stop is where you play 2 notes at the same time. There's a really cool video where he does a groove a bit like that. And that's a double stop. So what am I doing here? I'm just going frets 9 to 10. 9 on the D string with my first finger. 10 on the G string with second finger. And just sliding up 1 fret. And that just outlines the top notes of a D7 chord, which is the chord built from this scale, that I'm using this for an example. So it does that sort of a thing a lot. And that's a form of a double stop. It's what a guitarist would do in rock situation. It's a power chord. So first finger on the 5th fret, the A string, 2 frets across, 1 string down, that's your 5th. Now, just going back to this constant motion thing. When you have to do octaves with picking, especially when you're doing alternate picking, just beware of, you have to move your picking hand a little bit further than if you're just going from one string to the next. And the key to doing that, or anything that you want to do that's fast, is to slow it right down. Anchoring here, that's important. If you don't anchor, you're going to be all over the place. So to keep constant and to keep consistent, I'm anchored sort of here, really, where the bass cuts away. You can also get a bit of palm muting. That makes the notes pop out a bit more and really, really makes them sound good. And that really is it, as far as I can tell. That he does doing that kind of thing a lot. And I don't think you should aim to ever sound exactly like any player. I think you should aim to find what you like from their playing. Now, the thing that I like about his playing more than anything else is just the spirit and the vibe that he has. You know, he's always bobbing his head and dancing around, having fun with it. For me, those are the things to learn from his playing more than anything else. But he's expressing himself through some of the things I was just showing you. And yeah, I've just been listening to, you know, I'm doing this in lockdown that we're in at the moment. And it's just given me an opportunity to really listen to a lot of players that I like and try to dig into their style a little bit. So I don't want to sound exactly like Bobby Vega, but I do want some of his spirit. You know, other players I love that have that flair things. Flea's got that, James Jameson and Jacko, all fantastic players that have that just bounce and that groove that seems to be in every cell of their body. So, you know, that's what I want, really. I don't want to be able to play necessarily with a pick at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Everything he plays just grooves, it feels amazing. It's got so much soul in it. So that was it. I was just listening to him there and just trying to figure out what he was doing. And I hope some of that helped you anyway. I mean, there's quite a lot in that video, so I'll probably do more videos on specific techniques within that anyway. But I hope that helps you, and if you've got any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video.